pie cut because it looks like a piece of pie.
I think it looks like an absolute unit.
And I promise you, we're gonna do a burnout. Track officials ain't gonna be too happy with you coming in eating ice cream.
All right, update on the theft and robbery. The home insurance guy was here this morning, and he said because they're your tools, they're not covered under my policy.
I had a feeling that it was gonna come to that, especially since it wasn't locked.
Yeah.
But even though they broke 2 locks, it is what it is.
But in terms of the the Dragster ornament
I
sales,
can't believe how many I have to make.
dude.
But that's all right.
Here's an update in the morning. So
Oh, no.
16 hours in, our goal is 250.
Yeah.
We're up to like 550.
Oh no.
We should cut them
my
off, right?
goodness. Maybe. Because I don't know if we can get them done by Christmas.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a
It's
lot.
gonna be your full-time job for like a week and a half.
More than likely, but I'm happy to do it because of y'all. Thank you so much. I'm gonna be able to fill this back up and man, I'm speechless. We got some good people out there.
100%.
Even though there's some bad ones, we got a lot of good ones.
100%. Dude, I was answering emails all night from people like, I
I'm
want to
so
send money, I
sorry.
want to send stuff to the P.O. box, and I just sent them your PayPal.
Yeah.
I told them they could buy something on the website and just say, don't fulfill the order, Charles donation. You know what I mean?
Okay. Wow.
And dude, people are sending money in the YouTube comments. Right now, we just had 2 of them come through
Wow.
on my phone here. So
Oh my goodness.
it's
Okay.
crazy, man. The support has been insane.
I don't. Oh man. I mean, I'm just a simple mechanic, man. I'm not used to this. This is ridiculous. Oh boy. Thank you. I don't know what else to say. I mean, y'all are amazing. I can't believe it. The amount of support, because like immediate thought, I just lost everything, and it's tools. If the thieves are smart enough, they can sell them and get rid of them, and it's kind of hard to track, unfortunately. So, but with the help from y'all, it seems like I'm going to be able to fill my toolbox back up with exactly what I lost. So I can't believe it. I'm up here now. Thank you. I don't know what else to say.
We still haven't heard anything from the police about the stolen tools or the stolen trailer, but the support from you guys between the ornaments, Charles is on a PayPal, and other products on our website has been insane. So thank you all, seriously, for that. We really have an incredible community. I think the situation really just proved that. We are full-on Mini Mayhem prep right now. Mini Mayhem is this weekend at Busco Beach. You should show up, bring your mini bike, bring your go-kart, come camping, or just come for the day Saturday. It's an awesome time. But in today's episode of Cars and Cameras, we're installing a bigger turbocharger on our 670 drag rail. We didn't really need a bigger turbo. This one is only 4 millimeters larger. But the big advantages with this unit, this is a Chinese GT15, is that it is clockable, meaning that our charge pipe can be much, much shorter. So it should be able to make more power because it's larger while keeping the same or better response because our charge pipe will be so much shorter. So Charles is going to be building a new turbo setup for this brand new turbocharger, and then we're going to be setting it up and doing a couple burnouts out of the shop to kind of test it. So we bought 2 of these turbos. One of them we're setting up now, and the other one got sent off to G-Pop Shop in Arkansas, who's putting oil seals in it and doing a couple of other fine-tuning things to make it run right and last a long time for our draw-through setup. We'll have more on that when that turbo comes in. Anyway, enjoy the episode. Turbo noises.
Charles, I gotta say, man, for your second ever turbo kit, this is looking pretty good.
It don't look too close. It was tough to get these tight bends with what we have with the dies that we have on the Rogue Fab, but a few pie cuts later and some bigger tubing, I think it's where we want it. I'm not going to fully weld it in until we show Isaac, see if this is where he thinks it needs to be. But hot side's mostly done. we're kind of thinking about the cold side over here, seeing what we need to make, see if we need to replace this factory intake or just try and make a 2-into-1 again here. I'm not really sure, but so far so good. It's a lot lower. I think this transition from the the boost, not that arch anymore. So I think we're good to go.
Yeah, we have a larger turbo, so there will be a little more lag, but we have much shorter, I guess, charge pipes. So
yep.
Hopefully we're going to get a lot of that response back.
Yep, and we have a few tricks up our sleeve to kind of add some stall speed on the drive system, maybe build up a little bit more boost on the line.
Exactly.
I'm not really sure if that's how it's going to work, but in my head, that's, yeah. Not perfect, but the first one wasn't perfect, and it did pretty good. It did like 91, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That was crazy. As you guys could see, our charge pipe is more or less pointing towards this one more so than that one. And I don't think that's going to be good. We're new at this, but just assuming that I think it's going to have an easier like travel to get boost to this side of the engine than that one, and uneven boost is not good. So we're going to try and position this hot side flange back here, get this pointed more at a central location on this flange, and also double as clearance for the carburetor on the valve cover. 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 All right. So now that we got that tacked, we're probably gonna let this marinate for a little bit, and I'm gonna get going on the cold side, the 2-into-1 special. Dude, the fitment is real on this thing, and we can clock the choke back to the original position. That's actually,
yeah,
this is kind of.
So we got like an 1/8 inch clearance between that bowl and the valve cover, and we're probably going to cock that turbocharger just a little bit more, because we had a custom carburetor with a power jet commissioned for this project, because our AFR is still a little bit too lean, so we can get rid of those socks and make even more power. But we don't know the exact dimensions of that carburetor, so we're going to just try to give it as much clearance as we can there, and hope that the new one fits.
All right, so I've been working busy bee kind of stuff. I've got the hot side finished mocked up. Cold side is pretty much plumbed together. I kind of needed to go ahead and weld it up so that way I could finish massaging it and getting it in there. Now I'm moving on to before I get too ahead of myself, I'm mocking up the wastegate placement. It needs to be under here and replumb it, but as long as it can still open up, we should be fine.
Yeah, the nice thing about this turbo is that we can clock it, and that was the main reason we went with this one.
Yeah. So
we can make our charge pipe nice and short like it is.
All 3 parts are clockable, so I guess the cold side, oiling, and then the hot side.
So everything is clockable. It gives us lots of flexibility, but we did have to relocate the wastegate there. So that's what went originally, and Charles is basically making a bracket.
Yeah.
So we can mount it right in there. I think it looks like an absolute unit. That's a monster turbo right there, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's 2 fists. It's the size of your brain. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember your fists are the size of your brain? Yeah, that's the size. It's a big one. I mean, and this might not be the answer to our problems, but I mean, it's a bigger turbo. Why not? We're not gonna put the same size back on it. We blew up the little one. We put a bigger one, and we won't blow it up now. All right, so we got our bigger turbo on there. Our hot side and cold side turned out pretty much exactly how we wanted it. So let's get this engine back on the frame, and I promise you, we're gonna do a burnout. Test it again. There we go. I can get it on there once it's set on the chassis. Now that the engine's in the frame, let's go ahead and put this driven pulley or primary on, so that way the belt's on there and we can get the secondary on and start reassembling the drivetrain.
So the last time at the track, we blew the oil return line off the engine.
We?
It's a team effort, isn't
Okay.
it? So anyhow, Charles thinks that he had nothing to do with it, and maybe that's true, but it's a team. It's a team. Don't put it all on me, guys, for the second time.
I was just in the pits eating ice cream. Track officials ain't gonna be too happy with you coming in and eating ice cream.
So anyhow, what we're doing is we are going to be tapping the hole that the old dipstick goes into. So now anytime we want to check the oil, we're going to have to remove this brass nipple that is now threaded in the block. So I'm using a tap, and I'm going to be tapping the hole, and then we're going to be threading in that brass fitting, and it's going to work marvelous.
And people might be wondering, Ike, what about all those metal shavings going into the block?
That's a good point, Charles.
We loaded, oh, go ahead.
So what we did was we loaded the hole with grease, and when we're done tapping the hole, all the metal filings are going to be in the hole. We're going to take some air pressure and we're going to pressurize the crankcase. It's going to shoot grease out.
And the metal shavings.
With the metal shavings. I'm pressurizing this.
Yep. Go ahead.
And as you can see, there's nothing on this rag.
Oh, look at that.
Blew the grease out. With shavings. Now you don't want to put too much air to it because you don't want to blow out the seals. So this compressor and gun doesn't put out a lot, but it was plenty to blow that grease out. So now I'm going to be adding the brass nipple and putting the line on it.
So while Ike finishes up the oil return line from the turbo, I'm going to go ahead and take care of the exhaust, finish up the hot side. So we went and got this piece bent with a 45, and we're going to try and have the exit a little further away from the actual seating area because the fumes basically overcame John the last time he ran it, and we don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So I think I'm going to extend it a little bit longer and keep it away from this. Probably gonna have to add a support because of the extra length, but to do a gear change, we just remove the exhaust. No big deal. Cover. I got the exhaust tacked in. I got this nice slash cut. I even made a support for it right here, so that way all the weight isn't resting on our turbo kit and testing the strength of my welds. So I got a few more welds on this to finish it up. I'm gonna bolt it up, hose clamp it here, and then what do you got to do, man?
Man, we gotta finish up the oil return from the
Oh,
turbo.
that's right. Yeah, we gotta blow that
we were in the
grease
middle
out.
of that, and then we need to do the crankcase ventilation stuff.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll put a carburetor on.
Ooh, sounds good. So one tech tip that I'll share with y'all is, I'm pretty sure we've said it in the past, is when you get to welding your exhaust and it's real close, like with your bolt hole right here, if you wait on welding right there and you come in with a punch and you move the metal out the way, it gives room for your weld to be further down and more room for your bolt.
So me and Charles hadn't picked up the camera in a while, and there's a lot that's been going on. So we've got our oil line hooked up to the turbo. We have the exhaust pipe mounted on the turbo, and Charles did a fantastic job with making the hanger and everything. It looks great. I'm about to mount up our little catch can. It's going to go right here on the side of the turbo. It'll look fine. The firewall just wasn't good, so this is a good place for that. Next thing we're going to be doing as well is the driven pulley. Has some weights. We want to get a little bit more stall out of it, so we're fixing to shave some of the weights in that driven pulley, and hopefully we don't take too much off, and hopefully we get it right the first time. right?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, so the idea is we're going to shave some of the weight off the weights, and that'll increase the stall speed, so maybe the engine won't have that bad stutter coming off the line. So we're losing a pretty good amount of time on the starting line, so hopefully that'll help us there. All right.
Oh, pliers, man.
Pliers.
He's a man of culture.
See if I can pull it out.
Oh,
I've never had one of these parts, so I don't know what to expect.
Oh boy, I'm missing all the action.
Look at that.
Dude.
Okay, look, it's numbered. So
I wonder if that's like the weight or something. So are we going to try and get all 3 of them out at the same time and like weigh them?
we're going to weigh them a piece each and make sure they're all within, you know, exactly the same. And then the idea is we're going to shave off a little bit off the edge here, which should create some of the stall.
Yeah, because it's show them what side it rubs on.
It sits in here, and this piece gets thrown out, which pushes this piece in, which squeezes the belt together, which causes it to expand on the outward, which is like gear change. So since it does this in there, if we shave a little bit of this weight off the side, it's going to be less weight, which should cause the engine RPM to be higher to throw it out, creating a higher stall speed.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, yeah. So we went online and we found a lot of different weights for this thing. And, you know, I do believe that maybe we ought to wait on the weights. So we're going to wait on the weights. John is going to order some, and we'll just come to that later. Plus, we got a lot of changes going on. We got the turbo on there, different intake, different exhaust. So we could have all our problems fixed just by that. So it's best to, when you're really tuning on an engine to, you know, race, you change one thing at a time, because if you make multiple changes and it runs worse, then you don't know what exactly it is. It could have been the turbo. It could have been the weights. So I think one thing at a time is probably the best. Charles, where you at right now, buddy? You're mounting the catch can that we were working on?
Realizing that we're probably going to have to replace all of these with 90s just to clean up the look.
Yes.
And once you reinstall that, I'm gonna bolt up the motor probably for the last time.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and install the drive pulley on it right now.
Yeah. Sounds
and
good.
Yeah, we're just gonna let her eat. All right, so we got a lot of things buttoned up. The last little bit on this catch tank, which I love the location, by the way, is I'm hooking up one of the lines to the bottom of the catch tank. This is going to be the return line. So if there's any oil that gets in the catch can, when we cut it off, it'll go right back into the engine, which is going to be awesome.
He's got to get like...
I got to spread this thing out.
Yeah, onto that one.
Yeah. And then we're going to be ready for a fire up, basically.
Oh, man. Oh.
Okay. Oh, shoot.
That was so close. There we go. Seems like it's staying, but it's... Just don't tear it and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Phew.
The idea is I'm wanting to feel all the base pressure coming out at these two vents when I spin the engine over. I have the spark plugs out so it'll spin over a little bit faster. I don't feel any of the...
You don't feel any air? Uh-oh.
You think it's just...
Do you think it's maybe recirculating all through all of them? Or, well, no, that wouldn't.
I don't know. I'll take the little cap off of this thing.
Oh, and just put your hand over it.
Just put my hand over it.
Okay.
All right. I think. Here we go. Spin it over.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You got some...
See my hand moving?
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's got some pulse.
It's got some pull on it, dude.
All right, cool.
All right, so, yes, sir. So if this thing, this is a rubber cap. If it's not pulsating, then
the breathers are working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, there's a little bit.
Ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly. But I feel pretty good about this.
Yeah, we got 2 breathers on that. That should be enough.
3 places. We got one going.
Oh
right
yeah,
to the
that's
air
right.
filter.
Yeah, one other crankcase vent is going back into the air filter. So if it does puke any oil out, it will just consume it instead of put it on the track.
Yeah.
We don't want to overwhelm that one catch can that we have.
Only other place that I might think about doing one is like.
Oh, valve cover, a valve cover breather.
Yeah.
That's our next thing.
Let's get these spark plugs in. Fire this thing up.
Baseline tune, no laptop. You know the deal.
Yeah, man.
All right, so gasoline. We're gonna fire this thing up. Choke. All right. Ignition. All right.
That sounds good. We got oil pressure. Yeah. Man, that sounds good. Hey man, maybe we ought to take the cap off of that and just kind of take a look inside.
That too. I want to make sure that I know we've got oil going into the turbo.
Yes.
I want to make sure we got oil coming out.
Oh, I'm sure we got it coming out.
How does it sound even better?
It's that bigger pipe.
It sounds even better.
It's that big pipe, man. And we got condensation dripping out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's funny how that works. Okay. We can probably use a flashlight.
Oh yeah, and shine in there.
Shine in there. Yeah. So.
But let's open this up and see what it looks like when it's
yeah,
running.
Sounds good.
Hopefully there's no oil in there already.
I'm sure there is.
No. Bone dry.
Bone dry. What do you
Here,
know?
I'll shine the light in there. It's a little dark.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it real good. Yeah, that thing is
My light's going
DRY
bad.
dry.
Fuel pump.
Fires right up. Here's that turbo. All right, it's looking great. Sounding great.
Hey, that old. There was.
That is looking
Don't let
good.
me get too excited. This thing might jump off the lift.
Yeah, yeah.
take me out. Oh.
Hey man, I think this requires
cool.
a
High five.
high five. Good job. Love the manifold, dude. It reminds me of an old ram horn.
Oh yeah, and look, it's starting to turn.
Oh yeah, starting to turn colors and stuff. The exhaust pipe is good. Turbo, I love the placement of the turbo, dude.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like where a V8 diesel turbo would be. But of course, it's, you know, whatever.
I like how it's closer to the intake.
Yeah.
We got a short run to the intake. So
yeah, really small intercooler this time, so we
Yeah.
should be doing good.
Hey, but we don't need an intercooler when we're
I
running
know,
nitromethanol.
Exactly.
That's right.
Top fuel stuff.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Funny
So
car.
we've got a lot shorter run from the carburetor to the engine. I think that's going to help with some of the
Oh yeah, with the lag and then
with coming off the line with it stuttering and
hopefully
stuff.
hopefully with a tunable weight kit for the clutch, we should be in
Yeah,
business.
yeah, that'll be
One
nice.
thing at a time though.
One thing at a time, exactly. So everything's looking good, man.
Yeah, just go over some more stuff and we should be all right.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a test burnout and then we'll,
Oh, you know we're gonna do a test burnout. All right, so we got Charles on the rail. We got John outside checking traffic. Are we clear?
All right.
We got Charles on the rail.
I think I may need it choked, but we'll see. Oh.
Might want to let her warm up a second. Man, that thing sure does sound good. Look at that smooth mark on the ground. She peeled out the whole way out the door.
How's the throttle response?
It's great. It's very snappy, but I'd like to see how it does with the real load on it, because it was just able to kind of
Just
blow.
spinning.
Yeah, it was able to just blow the tires up, blow the tires off, and rev right up. So I'm real curious to see what it'll do when it hooks.
It seemed like it had good, very little turbo lag.
Yeah, I think that positioning of the turbo is going to help us out a lot.
Yeah.
Charles, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. We'll see. We'll see whenever we get to the track, because I'm excited.
That's all we have time for in this episode. Charles did a fantastic job rebuilding the turbo setup. This unit looks even better than the last one. We're going to take it back to the drag strip next to see if we've fixed any of our kind of coming off the line issues and to see just kind of how this new turbo performs. It could very well have different wastegate springs in it, so it could make more or less boost pressure standard than the last turbo. But I had to show this off. We just got a weight set in for our driver. So if we can get the stall speed tuned right on this thing, this will launch like crazy. It'll launch a lot harder. Yeah. So anyway, we still have ornaments available on our website, cars-cameras.com, if you want to pick up a desktop ornament or a Christmas tree ornament, something like that. Charles is hand-making ornaments of our 670 Dragster. All proceeds go to Charles to help him replace what was stolen from him this last weekend. We have had a ton of demand, so the lead time is probably 3 to 4 weeks between when you order them and when it'll get shipped out. We didn't know where we could buy 400 spark plugs at a time from, to be honest with you, but it's all right. Thank you all for your support again, and we will see you this weekend in Mini Mayhem.
Oh boy. Hold on.
Whoa,
It's a pinata.
it's a nice chandelier you got there.
Is that what? Oh boy.